And good morning, and we're back in our Lagos studios, and we've got Adetokunbo Mumuni, who is the Executive Director of SERAP. Thank you for coming on today. But before we head into what we have today, do you watch football?
Yes, I watch.
You're busy pursuing SERAP activities.
No, I've even taken a serious holiday for the World Cup.
Oh, nice. You must have been disappointed with the match. Or did you expect that we were going to have that victory against Croatia?
No, I thought it would have ended in a draw.
At least?
Yes.
But you're optimistic that
yes,
the next two matches, who knows? We'll keep our fingers crossed.
There are no minors in football these days. It depends on what happens on the field on that day.
But what you saw on the field on that day, what do you make of it?
I just realized that those boys have not understood themselves. It's like individuals just playing the way they know. There is no coordination. That's what I observed.
All right, well, I'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that they pull in their best for the next game, because that is very crucial. But then as we look ahead for the elections, preparations are in top gear. But I'm just wondering, just before we get into that as well, you are suing the Minister of Power Works and Housing. Why this time?
You see, we observed that the federal government, since the time of President Jonathan, said we have privatized the power sector. But what we have discovered is that a lot of public money still goes to these private entities. How do you start investing public funds in a private establishment that are there for making profit for those who own the company? That to us, we consider very, very hard. When you say you have privatized, leave it to them to run. And the truth of the matter is that those to whom the various sectors of the power were handed over don't have the capacity to deliver. That is the problem that we have.
Did you try to activate or make use of the FOI?
Yes, that was that was what we did. We wrote a letter. They never responded. That's why we are in court.
Because I think you've gone to court before about FOI somewhere.
No.
This is the first one.
Yeah, this is the first one, because what we analyzed in a report that we gave to the public was that about 11 trillion naira had been frittered away or something like that. But we now said, let us know the state of the finance when it comes to this privatization thing. How much money of public are you giving to these people? We wanted the account of that. They didn't respond. That was why we went to court.
Okay, so hopefully we'll see what the court decides and you get some answers to those ones. All right, now about the preparations for the elections. What is it that you've seen? We know that the National Assembly, they tried some amendments to the Electoral Act. We've seen what INEC themselves are going, how they're preparing for these elections. Even the political parties too, they've got questions in terms of preparations and who they eventually present. So looking at all of those preparations, are you optimistic that, who knows, this time around, first we'll get a lot more people interested and the participation will be high, and then we'll have something near credible, or at least credible elections?
Let me say straight away that this president, the current president, has a responsibility to ensure that whatever happens in 2009 is better than what happened in 2015. Remember that the president contested about 4 times before he eventually won. And that is kudos to the regime that preceded the present president, and that is to say we should move from being good to better and from better to best. Because the truth of the matter is that when you talk about election in Nigeria and democracy generally, what is important is that we must guarantee the citizens the right to vote, and their vote being important and consequential. Whatever the president does that does not accord with that reasoning will be a defeat to Buhari as a person. Because if those that he defeated had been saying we want to retain the seat at all costs, he won't be the president now. And he has a duty to ensure that that principle continued. And I understand that he's trying to do that because a lot of elections mini elections, like the state and some other elections, are taking place during his regime. And what I hear is that he's never interested in willing it over anybody. It's either you win fairly and squarely or you forget it. That to me is reasonable, is sensible, is commendable. I now want him to translate that to the national level. All the indices that will make the votes of Nigerians not count, they should avoid. Things that will make Nigerians in future and in 2019 look forward to election are done.
Well, would it be out of place if we use Ekiti and Osun elections as the typology of what to expect in the general elections? Would it be out of place?
Very well. Whatever happens in some fractional elections that we hold will be a signpost to what to expect in 2019. It makes sense.
Because, I mean, many people look to Anambra elections and they feel, well, not bad. This ANEC did what they could in that case. And now that we have these two coming up, people also want to look at that and see, all right, so do we escalate whatever impressions we have of those elections to the general one? But concerning votes being consequential, as you refer to it as, some of the amendments that the National Assembly are trying to put in place, chiefly the electronic voting bit, that part didn't pass, but they talk glowingly about transmission of results from polling centers to INEC offices. How significant do you think that will be?
That is very, very important. You see, I have been voting since 1979. Oh. And I know that when you talk about rigging in Nigeria's election, it doesn't, or having a successful election, it doesn't end at barely voting. The problem that we've always had is in collation and eventual announcement of the results. So I believe that that collation bit is very, very crucial and important for us to have a free, fair, and credible election.
Because, you know, when they say collation of election results is now mainly electronic, as transmitted unit results will help determine the final results on real-time basis. It leaves people saying, wow, if this were actually going to be the case. Remember, just as you highlighted, the complaint that a lot of people had was collation of results overnight. So does this mean this is not going to happen anymore? Overnight collation won't happen?
Whatever we must do to make the process clear to everybody. You see, let me tell you this. Once you start making delays, once you start exercising liturgy in the announcement of results, that is when a lot of things come in. What does it take to have an election and you declare the results almost immediately?
Now, when you say whatever we must do to ensure that we have transparent and credible elections, what you've seen so far, does it look like things are in place for that to happen?
I want to say that since 2015, we have not had a national election. And I think what we have been here having a localized election, if one will say that. But if you look at what this regime has done in elections that have been held earlier, which ran against the position of the ruling party at the center, I would say that is still an hope that something will not be fishy at the end of the day. But like I said, election is very important in the democracy, and whatever we must do to ensure that we have a perfect election, the near perfect election must be encouraged.